Hello everyone, welcome to the July 28th, 2019 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. In this segment, we'll be looking at the end of the Mercury Retrograde period, the simultaneous new moon, and what's in store up in the zodiac for the coming month of August. Mercury began its retrograde period on July 8th, and now, after a bit more than 3 weeks, the retrograde ends on July 31st. When a planet begins and ends a retrograde period, it appears to hang motionless in the zodiac for a few days. This condition is called stationary and is considered to make the planet's significations strong. In this case, Mercury has just barely backed into Gemini, becoming stationary right on the dividing line between Gemini and Cancer, a position known in Vedic astrology as Sandhi. This line between two signs is considered to be a weak placement for a planet. So, at the end of July and beginning of August, Mercury and its significations are, paradoxically, both strong and weak simultaneously. The Mercury retrograde confusion may linger for a bit. And then after a couple of days, Mercury gets moving, leaves Gemini, and re-enters Cancer on August 2nd. Having returned to forward motion, Mercury continues transiting in sidereal Cancer until August 26th. The planet of rational thinking and making reasonable decisions doesn't like being in the moon's sensitive sign of feelings and emotional reactivity. So Mercury's significations are still going to be a bit off for the next few weeks until it leaves Cancer in the last week of August and enters Leo, which sets up a whole new pattern. Along with Mercury retrograde ending, another item in the zodiac happens on Wednesday, July 31st. It's the new moon, which will be at 14 degrees sidereal Cancer. The new moon is bracketed by Venus on one side, Mars on the other. Having the two gender planets as bridesmaids to the lunation ensures plenty of passion, heat, and excitement for the coming month. This new moon begins the Hindu lunar month of Shravan, named for the nakshatra, the lunar sign, Shravana, where the full moon ordinarily falls this time of the year. But this year, the full moon of the Cancer new moon will be in Dhanishta, the nakshatra that comes after Shravana. Dhanishta is one of the good nakshatras. Its symbol is Shiva's drum, the one he holds and taps on while he's dancing. So Dhanishta is about keeping the rhythm. This means keeping your timing to coincide with the rhythm of the universe. Note, too, that this new moon is conjunct Venus, and the full moon, the culmination of the month's energy, will be exactly opposite Venus, meaning this lunar month will definitely have a Venus component to it. So what does that mean? Well, Venus significations will be important. In Vedic astrology, the planetary opposition pattern is called mutual aspect. Venus and the moon are sending energy to each other. Since both of these planets are generally benefic in nature, it's considered to be a good thing, and along with the Dhanishta nakshatra, the full moon sets up a benevolent energy pattern for the month, which in this case more or less coincides with the calendar month. But then there's another planetary combination forming in the middle of the month, which will alter everything. On August 8th, we have Mars changing signs. Mars finishes its transit in Cancer and moves into Leo, a sign it is much happier in. Cancer is Mars's sign of debilitation. In other words, the planet doesn't like being in that sign. But in Leo, Mars does much better. Leo is the sign of the sun, the sign of royalty, a sign that likes to take charge and take action as a way of dealing with situations. Mars is the planet of action. Mars is the planet of victory, and Leo wants to win. On the downside, the forcefulness and impatience of Mars can lead egoic, prideful Leo to make hasty decisions which can cause problems. Then, a week after Mars enters Leo, Venus comes into Leo on August 16th. When the two gender planets are together, we get a lot of heat and passion. The forcefulness of Mars overpowers tender Venus, so the planet of romance and agreement can't express itself fully. This passion combo in Leo, a rather self-centered sign, tends to emphasize the downside of Venus, which is selfishness. Forceful Mars's aggression overwhelms mild Venus's signification of harmony and agreement, resulting in forced agreement. Of course, this will seem a bit threatening to the more mild-mannered types, or to people who prefer a more considered, reasonable approach to things. For an example of what Mars does when in Leo, we need look no further than the current President of the United States, Mr. Donald Trump. He's born with Mars in Leo, in his ascendant, and this Mars-Venus combo transit will double up on his natal Mars energy. So, get ready for a lot of sparks coming off of POTUS this month. Another thing happening in August is the end of Jupiter's retrograde period on August 11th. Just like with Mercury, Jupiter will be stationary for a time while ending its retrograde. But since Jupiter moves much more slowly than Mercury, the stationary period will last about a week on either side of the end of the retrograde, whereas with Mercury it was only a couple of days. So again, the Vedic astrological principle is that a stationary planet is strong for its significations, and this is Jupiter, planet of wisdom, truth, justice, law, morals and ethics, beliefs, and so forth. The signification of Jupiter, as the planet of truth, law, and justice, has been on the table quite a bit lately. Planets, when retrograde, are in reverse in the zodiac, in other words, not making normal forward progress, therefore are held back from fully manifesting their significations. So, justice and law seem to have been taking a break since Jupiter began its retrograde period back at the beginning of April. That will now change. Interesting that Congress leaves on its summer recess while Jupiter is still retrograde, and when Congress comes back in September after Labor Day, the planet of justice will be back to normal forward motion. And this is happening in Scorpio, sign of secrets, research, and investigation. Something to look forward to? Okay, that's it for this report. And a reminder to all subscribers, this is the last report for the month of July. Here's a rundown of forthcoming videos for August. August 4th, details of the Mars transit in Leo for each rising sign chart. August 11th, effects of Jupiter in Scorpio for each rising sign chart. August 18th, an update on world events and USA politics. August 25th, the triple conjunction of Mercury, Venus, and Mars in Leo. These videos will be restricted to subscribers who are supporting this channel. If you haven't already made your donation for August, and you want to receive the links to these weekly videos for the coming month, now's the time to click the PayPal button. The requested donation is $20 for the month, or if you can't afford that, then $10. Your email address will be automatically saved to the subscription list. Thanks, and until next week.